Welcome back, everybody. It's been a hell of a week. Good, the bad, the ugly. It's been 97 degrees last 2 days in Portland, so
that's like 120 degrees anywhere else.
Yeah. So it's
Today it was only like 85.
Yeah, I had a nice bike ride. Got a little color. Good.
I only felt like I was dying for a minute.
For a minute, just a minute. That's good. Let me read you one of our amazing shows from our friends over at Infinity Break Podcast, a show they have called Legends of Laia. Something monstrous this way comes. From the mind of Nikki Bolin comes Infinity Break's latest tabletop streaming endeavor, Legends of Laia. Meet Shilva Tassaran, a bard with an enormous hat. Muriel Vultrus, a warlock who has recently wagered too much on a lost bet. Hugo Dufontaine, a swashbuckler treasure hunter, and Petros, a half-orc paladin cop who just got kicked off the force. That's such an awesome idea, by the way. Enter the world of Laia, a continent torn in half by a dark abyss filled with monsters. When the darkness begins to spill out of the gash in the earth, our heroes are tasked with maintaining the balance that hold this fractured world together. The Legends of Laia will stream every other Sunday opposite Speak of the Devil at 1 p.m. PST, only on their Twitch channel, not on our Twitch channel, but on their Twitch channel, Infinity Break Gaming, and as audio podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. They started streaming, Sunday, March 24th. So their show is probably a good 5 or 6 episodes in. So they're just such good people over there, and they're doing great work. So check out their show. It's going to be fun. I was sort of hoping that you all would do the recap from last week.
With pizza in my mouth, I can do this.
I am.
Yo, guys, we're playing D&D.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
We ran away from the blob tires.
And describe a little bit more about what those are.
So the blob tires are undead, rotten orcs that are orcs from, like, stomach up and blobs of goo from stomach down.
Melty candle orcs.
Melty candle orcs. Their touch is exhausting as...
And infectious.
Yeah.
You're fine. Yeah, I know that. I'm exhausted. 2 points right now. I'm full of pustule bulges all over my body that I've drained a little bit just for the tautness to go down. And yeah.
You're so taut.
The group of Moonjaw started attacking us from the forest while we were running away.
Including our old friend, Michonne.
Yeah, we thought it was Michonne.
Oh, right.
But
Daniel, looking at you.
Yeah, Daniel.
they ran away, so we don't know if it actually was them.
Pretty sure it's them.
But
why were they firing at us?
But we saw Michelle was the one who left behind that tried to shoot me again.
Yeah.
So we know, like, they were shooting us for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe Michelle's
We
infected.
saved Sparky, but she's like...
Oh, Sparky's
Fuck.
got no eyes.
She's got no eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But, this doesn't mean she's useless. It's like, she's got to just
She's got to learn to
find her way.
echolocate magic.
Yeah.
It's promising.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
What could go wrong?
We're heading to the Standing Stones, where the Moonjaws were the Moonjaws were trying to do their ritual of preservation.
We found the Duth Borin Kesha, which is the leader of the orc tribe. She was dead.
Young the
respectfully looted her
bearded.
corpse.
We have this.
Young the bearded.
Young the bearded.
Only on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
We have a druid chilling with us, and we are trying to get to the standing. We want to finish the ritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which? Yep. Oh, Lennon. Lennon's chilling.
Lennon is the druid that's traveling with you.
Three-way.
So, and Faye went back to the Blackfang with the Moonjaw refugees. I'm not sure if that was said.
Yes. Sorry.
And there was that whole conflict in the sort of protective circle. And that didn't end well.
I broke that.
It actually ended the best, considering it not ending well. So
I will say,
you totally had a really good non-verbal conversation with some verbal with Faye, and like, look, I believe in you. You're strong enough to lead these people. We're not here to fight you. You're not here to fight us. Like, get your folk to safety. We'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But then I did break the protection circle.
that was on accident because you're kind of clumsy because you're 8.5 feet tall.
Yeah. I'm the clumsiest, most graceful monk.
It's not you, it's your body.
I'm just not comfortable in it.
Your meat suit
God.
betrayed you.
We really do play ourselves as characters.
You're just learning how this body works in a monkish way.
Yeah.
All right.
Time has a beard
Sometimes.
every Tuesday and Thursday.
Not all the
Possibly
time.
otherwise. Not all the time.
I thought
I'm cool with hair, no hair.
Well, you have to attune to the belt first.
Yeah.
Then you'll get a beard.
Did we not have a chance to tune the belt?
We
No,
literally
we
left
just
off
got them.
with
Okay.
the holding the items next to the corpse of the Barn Kesha.
yeah.
This seems like
And
a
you
great
have
moment to
this
attune to the belt.
staff of immovable mushrooms.
Yes. A movable mycelium.
Yeah.
It might be, I mean, we need these things to potentially help us with the battle to come. It might be useful to actually go, chill out for
Climb
an
up a
hour.
tree for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm down.
All right.
Climb up
Well-
any trees for any amount of time.
Be that as it may, we all sort of ended with you respectfully looting.
Yes. Important.
The say the first name.
Young?
No.
Dolph Boren.
Dothborn.
That's not a name, that's a title.
I know, but I was.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Dothborn Kesha.
Dolph. Dulth Boren.
Yeah, Dothborn Kesha.
Kesha.
Who was
Put that
Young
by
the
his
Bearded.
And there's a name on that.
From legends have it, or rumors have it, was a very courageous and brave chiefess that clearly died with her people. And you retrieved the staff and the belt. Who's wearing the belt right now? Yeah, cool. The time has the belt of dwarven kind.
Yeah, she
We
does.
thought about giving it to Ferg, but Ferg has issues with facial.
That's fair.
Most of the clients do.
So here you are inside of the Moonjaw village proper, and you find yourself in a ghost town of a village, with the occasional sort of Jello-like orcish monstrosity kind of passing to and fro in the distance. Many of those orcs, I don't even want to call them orcs, creatures. Some kind, yeah. I'm not going to call them that.
I like calling
Damn it.
them
Okay, I'm going to call them that. Blobtars.
I'm pretty sure I made that canon last time.
Okay, so the Blobtars are kind of meandering here and there, but there's so little of them now that most of the herd kind of followed the Fae and all the rest of the rest of the orcs outside of the village. So now you find yourself in this very, very, very quiet ghost town of a village. And I want to know what you all are doing. And to address what you said earlier, yes, we are starting with everybody starts with one inspiration. This is kind of how we're going to roll it out from here on out. Everybody starts with one. Because you had one last session, you're going to start with two. So this is going to be one of those rare moments where...
For something. Maybe that dex check that broke the protection circle.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we lost what? Four villagers? Not so bad.
Some were going to die.
Yeah.
Nature of the beast.
And I mean, honestly, 70%. So I think four more. Numbers game, not that bad. So yeah, I say we find a spot to hang out for an hour so y'all can attune to your things.
Sounds good. We're going to need this in the fight going forward.
And then we
Let's
head
gather
for
up.
the standing stones.
Cool.
And magic.
Where do you think you are going to hole up and rest?
I got this.
Yeah. I was gonna say up a tree because I can keep watch lower down. And
Yeah, there's this
hanging out for an hour is not doing
particular
anything to me.
tight grouping of really large trees, and between all of our different abilities, we can go there. That main
Okay. Yeah. Done deal. So
honestly, we may even be able to find like a Ewok style like tree fort, like that some of like orcish buildings that we can like pull up a ladder or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we also kind of gained some skills with the orcs about how to just sort of like fashion that very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and make stealth rolls all around. You'll be at an advantage, Shanna. And
and Chris dice have come back.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many of them in the village left, so don't worry about it too hard.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing everything at disadvantage, so let's see what happens. It was 8, Bill.
8. Okay. What did you get?
I got 10.
10.
I'm probably the stealthiest of us
13.
too.
Yeah. I'm like, you rolled a 4.
Okay.
And a 16.
Well,
Nice.
you're essentially up against these incredibly listless and almost mindless creatures.
Yeah.
So, despite how bad you think you did, you actually did pretty damn good. The loudest person was Lennon. Lennon sort of like kept tripping over things due to just the shocked and appalled terror that he feels just looking at his decimated village.
And yelling about the proletariat. Thanks.
So yeah, you guys rest for an hour. Those of you who are attuning to magic items do not get the benefits of a short rest.
I think we short rested-ish before, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you did as well.
Because I have more health than I think I should have if I hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we had a short rest before we ran into
In the cave, right?
Yeah.
Time doesn't have a beard right now. At the end of the hour.
All right. So time, when you're attuning to the belt, and just about when you're ready to put the belt on, you had to go through like a series of like chants and rituals like right before that were sort of outward spoken.
Mm-hmm.
You found that your voice began to echo. And you thought at first that it was a sort of byproduct of the ritual itself, and so you maintained your concentration. And I'm going to say that you still maintained your concentration, but right towards the end, you opened up your eyes, and as you had your hands sort of, cupping the belt, two-handed like, on the other side of you is a very familiar, beautiful, radiant face. And that is the face of Morel. And when you open your eyes and you're still saying the words of the ritual, she is also saying the words of the ritual with you, with her eyes looking at you, and does not stray from that.
Keep chanting and kind of like watching her and kind of like finishing what I'm here for, but like feeling her power sort of infusing this process, perhaps.
And when the process ends, she begins to stand up, sort of along with you, and she helps you put the belt on you. And she says, "Despite what you're being told, do not let them."
Now let who in?
Yes, it's a little bit like that. But you still have time. And no, it's not a pun.
Oh.
And she says, "Oh, you look so great. You look really well."
Take the beard.
Yeah. And she, yeah.
Thanks, Connor.
Yeah.
Did you want me to spit take? Yes.
She
It's already braided.
It grew out braided.
Yeah.
She says, "You know that you were meant to wear this."
Feel that. This has been in my history for quite some time.
Okay,
and
so
she's like kind of touching the spot where the dagger cutter on her hand.
This is Bill asking you, what is your daughter's name again?
Jasper.
He says,
"Oh, that look you gave him.
I remembered
know
it.
this."
It's tattooed on my hip with like some
I'm
baby
sorry, were
feet
you
prints,
busy?
right?
Baby Jasper.
she
Time and
says,
space.
I wrote it down.
Morel says, how is
Well, Time knows all the
Jasper?
variations of
How is
Jasper's
Jasper?
name.
I don't say this often. Unexpected, but a privilege to have in my life.
So was I.
Fair.
Grow up to be. Gonna be so happy.
Delicious pretty. Tell her she's smart too. Important. Can you help us? Can you help us correct the ritual?
Well, I'll do what I can.
Who should we not let in? Just looks back at her.
They've come back. They are far more intelligent.
Meta knowledge at all. Best way to avoid meta knowledge. Insight. Can I like think about what she might be referring to?
Well, you're deep
Will
in
knows,
you're
but-
deep in thought about that. Well, let's roll with that. What does Will think it is?
I mean, Will/Time is kind of thinking back to like the sort of historical reel that she watched on the airship that wasn't actually playing on the airship, and thinking back to like the Dwarven dagger and the history of that and the different pieces, and everything is sort of like clicking together, and she's like thinking of these sort of we felt the sort of demonic influence in terms of like the research that she's been doing is kind of thinking back to the demon war comes to mind.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a lot of will in that, but it's also like there's been a lot of clues that we've been kind of dropping together. Like,
Yeah.
And that resonates. That resonates. What you're a little confused about is Morel's description.
intelligent, or
Yes, so, during the war, the demons, legend has it, have always been just bestial and bent on destruction just for the sake of pure destruction. Chaos incarnate. And willing to take the world down with it. And then they lost. And they retreated from the world. And sages have been speculating about, in fact, why they retreated for, centuries. So you're here now, hearing this from your beloved, really. I mean, there's just a deep love that you're left with every time you look into her eyes. And
at this point in time, it's convinced she's they're part of each other.
Yeah. And Morel says, in no way, shape, or form can they get to the heart. Or the mycelium they won't last for that much. They won't last much longer.
How can we protect the heart? We want to.
Well, first you have to find it. But make no mistake. Do not lead them there. They're watching you. They're watching your every move.
Likely they'll find it without us, though, even. Perhaps our presence is the only thing that can save it.
Your presence also might speed up their goals.
I can see both futures. Hope we choose wisely.
There's more than two.
Tell me about it.
And the moment you say "tell me about it," it's like you blink and just no one's there.
Mm-hmm.
And even Lennon's just like really curiously like off from the side. Are you okay?
Yeah, why?
Well, time. You were talking to yourself very vividly. I'm assuming because no one else is reacting that this is a normal. This is you. This is a thing that you do.
It was a conversation that happened before, or will happen in the future, but was not happening now. My apologies for the.
Well, that makes everything better. He just walks away.
I thought that made sense.
Climbs to a higher branch.
Yeah. And from that, an hour passes. Are you doing any like short resting, like hit die, anything like that?
Oh no, we're fine.
You good?
Not hit.
Farron, you good?
I'm good.
Cool. What are you doing now? Kind of the same situation. You see those a smattering of those creatures kind of off in the distance, but you're avoiding them very proficiently and.
I think so.
Yeah, and we need to save the. I mean, we can't save them now, but maybe pull the orc that sacrificed themselves out of. If that's somehow infected.
There's anything left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to go see what's going on.
Yeah, Lennon, is there anything that we need for the ritual before we...
Well, before we go to the Standing Stones, I may ask, what do you intend to accomplish?
We were tasked to finish the ritual, I believe. Keth knows more.
Finish the ritual?
Well, I don't know if it can be finished is the problem. We have to do whatever we can to balance the forest again.
I can tell you that from my knowledge base, there is no finishing the ritual.
They had to be done at the same time is the biggest problem.
So yeah, what are we doing here then?
Can we... Well...
Is there anything to purify? Can we cleanse
Yeah,
the
I was
area?
going to say, can we burn it with fire?
Yeah. I mean, I can help with that.
Undo the ritual?
Apparently there's a lot of rot under us. How do we... Let's burn it out.
We could try that.
I would like to do that.
Do it.
Cool.
Out of character, did you tell any of us that you were talking to the Queen of Rot in your head?
Oh, I was literally yelling everything the Queen of Rot was telling me to get the other things to come at me, and then the Queen of Rot realized what I was doing and then just sent everything at you guys.
I couldn't remember.
And I was like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
Rude. So, yeah, I mean, let's dig out this Rot Queen.
Sounds good.
Sounds like it started spreading from the Stepping Stones point, so that's a good spot to start the burning, cleansing with fire.
So...
We can make a pyre of Moonjaw bodies if we need to.
You approach the area of the Standing Stones.
Yep.
So investigating the Standing Stones reveals quite the putrid sight indeed. A ring of withered grass and flowers around the stones, roughly 10 feet in diameter, is punctuated by large slime trails in and around the area. The Standing Stones look like an inferno engulfed the stones themselves, but really no sign of anything burnt do you see around it. It's just the stones itself are just like wholly blackened. The thing that catches your attention the most, though, is the unmoving body sitting within the stones, reminding you of, like you just mentioned earlier, the elder that gave his life in the Blackfang preservation ritual you took part in. And that's from a distance. That's what you see. So I'm going to say you were about 30 feet away from even that like 10-foot diameter sort of dead zone.
Berg's gonna break off a living branch and toss it into the dead zone. See what happens.
You toss it into the dead zone, and it kind of plops down on what probably used to be some grass, and really nothing happens. It kind of it makes the sound when the stick lands. It makes the sound of kind of hitting like brittle frozen grass. which leads you to believe that this dead zone is incredibly, like, sort of frostbitten.
But it's not going to kill us, probably, because this thing didn't, like...
Maybe there's no ongoing effect, or something where, like, we need to take a little time. We will find out.
Approach
a little closer.
I'll go in there.
Let's see. Lennon casts a spell before. Lennon casts a spell before anyone goes in, and counsels everyone to wait for a second until he finishes this. Casts a spell, and just sort of like his eyes go sort of pale white as he seems to sort of like scan for you don't even know what, and then he comes back. His eyes sort of come back to his regular color, and he says, "There is no malignance within this area. Nothing that seems to be wholly evil."
Get closer.
But the Rock Queen said she was beneath us, where I would assume that she came from.
Say here, or did she say the other place we need to go to?
The Kragst?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
That rings a bell. She mentioned Kragst and then said beneath us.
All right, well, I guess I'll share that with y'all and see what you want to do about it. But regardless, before we leave, we need to bury the Dolphborn Kesha, or burn her or something.
Yeah, that sounds good. Lennon, is there anything that we can do with this site to alleviate the hurt?
I'm not sure. I mean, we haven't actually really investigated it.
Let's get a little closer and investigate. Yeah. I mean, Time is very interested on an arcane level, like what is happening here.
It's still surrounded by trees, right? The empty clearing, the dead clearing.
One more time.
Is it still surrounded by trees? Like you said, there was like a 10-foot circle of like dead. Is that like an empty clearing? Is there trees around?
It is an empty clearing, but the 10-foot circle was just sort of it was dead, sort of grass and flowers and things like that. There were actually no trees in that 10-foot diameter around the standing stones.
Is there trees around the 10-foot?
They're farther back. This is in kind of more of an open clearing. We're talking like you'd have to go like 25 to 30 feet before you hit the first tree.
That doesn't help. I was just gonna see if I could look at it from above better.
Okay.
But if it's the tree's that far away.
So as you get closer, you definitely like your feet kind of crunch over the sort of frozen grass. Which I don't know. It's kind of remarkable that it's still frozen, considering how long ago this ritual took place. And you're sort of winding the corner and like getting a closer look at the elder's body, for which you actually your sort of expectation is that this elder is potentially still alive, but suffering through the process that they gave themselves up to go through. But that's not the case at all. The elder's body is desiccated and oozing in various places, out of their eyes, ears, various orifices, and is speaking in low but rapid tones.
Oh, that's not terrifying. Can I hear the words?
Not it's almost like it's just above a whisper. You'd actually have to get like very close. And like
I don't want y'all to get it too.
Lennon sees that look in your eye and he's just like
means something.
Can you amplify her voice? Do you have like prestidigitation? This is outside. Do you have like a
gotta get the nose itches. Apologies to everyone.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm feeling it. So I feel like this is really kind of important to feel like whatever this disconnection in the universe is happening here right now. And Time really wants to hear this and figure it out. So what she's going to do, she's actually going to send Junebug in to kind of like listen. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Please pat her one more time before you kill her.
I'm not gonna die. If she dies, I'll bring her back.
This is an example of how we don't need to compel one another always, because that's definitely a compel for time. But
I know I was kind of
already know.
It's like Time's doing this one. I already have my full inspiration, but so Time actually like. Do we have is there any particular pressing matter around us? Can she take a moment to cast a ritual, or do we need do we feel like that would draw attention? There's these things around us.
You don't feel one way or the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll guard you if you want to.
Nothing like this desiccated elder that's muttering these words. Which, by the way, if you strain, you can hear kind of words here and there. It's really in no language that anyone really understands.
Which is why I'm doing the ritual.
Right.
Comprehend languages.
Yeah.
That was what the plan was.
And so that's totally fine. So as you're casting the ritual, June is sort of
because she's in ferret form.
In a ferret form, and doing a little bit of a spiral around the standing stones just to kind of suss out the situation.
Sounds
and
right.
Nothing to June feels dangerous, or at least not yet. Everything seems to be calm. Everything seems to be in order. There's just this muttering. Does anyone else want to take part in this? And before you answer, I would like you to make an insight roll, and I'd like you to make an insight roll.
17 or 16?
This one at disadvantage too?
Yes, all ability checks. So 15, 16?
No. Yes.
Wow, that was really good. 18.
18. Okay, so
roll a 17 and an 18.
Both of you sort of realize a few things. So the preservation ritual, essentially, one of the eldest gives their life over to the mycelium, and the mycelium take their life and sort of absorb their essence into their collective consciousness. And so you realize that something about this muttering is making you think that your listening would actually allow you to somehow connect with this language and understand it. Mm-hmm. If not on an intelligence level, almost on a heart-based level. Okay. And then you realize something similar, except that you think that if you were to eat some mushrooms in the surrounding area, then you could also communicate and understand what this thing is saying. Mm-hmm. And so I would like you to give you both the opportunity to do that if you wanted to do that.
Don't put any of these in your mouth.
Definitely.
Don't put You don't know what has ooze on it. Let me listen first, and if it doesn't work, then we'll try the eating the mushroom
Forager. I know how to look.
Already eating something.
Look hard. Yeah. Sorry, did you want some?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
You
want some of this? It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I grab my elder mycelian staff and I say, Time, do your ritual if you wish, but I feel like I might be able to hear on a different level. And I put it on the ground.
You say that as Time is kind of doing the ritual pieces and kind of just looks at you not stopping.
Right. As a matter of fact, you barely even register. The ritual's all consuming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a moment where a little piece of her mind goes, I'm busy. Excuse me.
Right. So Berg, you're noticing a little ahead of everything. Some of those creatures that you've been dealing with for a while now are starting to get a little closer. When I say a little closer, I mean you are all in no real danger. But Time's sort of chanting is it's because it's 10 minutes long. It's a noise that's attracting attention.
Yeah.
And so everyone else, you're getting down with your listening ritual, correct? Mm-hmm. And you're, eating your shrooms. Perfect. So your listening ritual is going to cost you an inspiration.
Not a key point?
No, inspiration.
Oh, okay.
And
part of the staff thing, remember? Like the listening.
I thought it was I had to use an inspiration if I wanted to make it a bonus action to the rod. Like, because normally I could just listen with my key points without the stuff.
I would say that this is one of those exceptions.
Okay.
And
this better be good.
I know, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, I don't want to waste an inspiration on
how far
listening.
away? You said there are 3
yeah,
plays. How far away are they?
over 100 feet, but enough of them that it's causing you a little concern. We're talking over a dozen.
Over a dozen.
Yeah.
They're being sent to us, I bet you. Can I hear anything in my mind
You're-
from the Rock Queen?
Yes, actually. And it's a familiar phrase. Let them in.
And I'm just hearing that like repeated.
Them in. Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to actually like concentrate in order to like begin to hear some of the words that are being said. Now, there are a stream of words that I'm going to read to you.
Okay.
And you don't feel any pressure to write these down. You can, you cannot.
Well, I wrote down all the Mycelian.
Well, I'm going to read it quite fast.
Okay, then I might not get it.
Yes, and so evolution. We must affirm that most effective. We must affirm the most effective tribe. We choose defeat so that we may win. Which is we? Owlbear. Who are we? We hunger. Let them in. Their action is decisive. They can descend the spiral and reach fulcrum. They can evolve again. We can evolve again. Rot is only the beginning and the end. Evolution. We must affirm the most effective tribe. We choose defeat so that we may win. We, which is we? Owlbear. Who are we? We hunger. Let them in. Their action is decisive. They can descend the spiral and reach fulcrum. They can evolve again. We can evolve again. Rot is only the beginning and the end. Over and over and over again.
The same spiral that needs to be disc. We can ascend
this
the
is what
spiral and
Keth
reach
is
fulcrum.
hearing. This is not what I'm hearing.
That
or
is
this
what
both were
that is what Keth and Time and Feyren are hearing.
Oh.
Now, when they went into their rituals, Ferg, I want you to imagine that they're sort of zonked out in their own way.
Yeah.
And right now you and Lennon are just sort of like, I don't know, like doing a little circle around them, just watching for people. This makes me nervous, man.
Can I pick up? Is there like a cobblestone sized rock in the area, like on the ground that I can pick up?
A cobblestone-sized rock? You can find something like that, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. More like a riverbed rock, but yeah.
And that's what cobblestones are. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Old
Fair.
school cobblestone.
Yeah.
I would like to huck it into the midst of the creatures and see if they start attacking each other.
Like
and
a shot putter?
You find that a couple of them do, like 3 or 4 kind of go at it, but the rest sort of stay on target.
So there's still like 8 of them.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10.
Keep breathing.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, you are all very much inside of this. I don't know. It's becoming sort of a mantra in a way, and inside of that mantra is somewhat of a sort of mental maze. The maze. It feels like you're going through tunnels, actually worked stone tunnels, like tunnels that were actually created by humanoids of some kind. And most of the tunnels they're just lined and laced with vines and other sort of vegetative debris. But if you look close enough, like past the vines, there is solid like steel, like metal behind it, as if these vines just sort of like overgrew whatever this was.
Listening is kind of like location based, so that's the only reason I'm asking it. Do I like? Can I tell where these? Does this feel like it's under me or something like that? Like when you listen, it's supposed to like give you direction, right? So like if I'm listening, doing a listening ritual, can I tell where these tunnels, if they're like actually where they actually are?
I'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
So
That's kind of what I was thinking.
As you are experiencing this, something else is kind of coming up for you. You don't feel like you have a body anymore. You feel like you're light as a feather, and feather is even, going too far. It feels like you're ghostly, immaterial, sort of astrally projecting yourself across the breadth of the Kashar. You also feel yourself rising. And at a certain level, the rising, you can't control it. And so you find yourself panicking a little bit. But the rising keeps happening and keeps happening until you realize that you're completely over the Kashar Forest. One could say you're out of the Kashar Forest. And you're getting a really good look at the areas beyond in the distance as you keep rising and rising and rising. And I'd like you
5 years of text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Signal, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh crap.
Whoa.
Bing, 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 bing.
And the first location that for whatever reason your vision kind of locks onto is Kragst. Sort of looming over the whole of the Kashar. You can actually even see like part of the village, like on that sort of the sort of top plateau that it exists upon. And then it's all as if you take flight and you fly kind of like outside of the Kashar completely, in a way. And the next point that kind of comes into your focus that you almost can't look away from is Valenstein. And then the next point after that is Rosax. And then the next point after that is Skyhelm. And inside of all of this, I would like all of you to roll I'd like you to roll a wisdom-based history check.
Meanwhile, Ferg's still roaming around trying to keep these lobsters at bay.
Am I still exhausted when I don't have a body?
That's a great question. No.
Awesome.
Do I roll? I just roll regular, right? Not an advantage.
Wait, I'm thinking. You just roll regular. Yeah.
I got a 15.
15?
6.
6?
23.
23.
Yay.
I like knowing things.
So
Drink and you know things. Or you shroom and you know.
Both.
So there are certain points in Terra Sentia's history that I'm asking you, what do you want to know the most from? Ashleen, you can kind of like basically both of you can start from in the beginning of Terra Sentia's history all the way up to now, and you can kind of ask for a little insight in a certain area of history. Which part of that history would you like to know about? from a certain point of view.
Is this like which would Ashlane like to know about, or which would Keth like to know about?
Hey, either one.
Question.
As far as I'm concerned, one and the same. Think about it. Just take a minute. I'm gonna grab a little bit of a drink.
Do we each get to choose like something, or
I think so. Right? We each get, because it's like collective in our brains. So, yes. Like, what would we like learn in this moment?
I mean, I know. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? I kind of have no idea. Because Keth isn't the type of character that like knows things.
Feel free to talk amongst yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like time, just because you are missing the connection with your brother, like, are gonna wonder about what happened.
I'm not feeling that as much as like on a larger historical scale level, though. On that, like, I'm feeling. Like a connection to that, but I'm feeling like personally, like, since I asked the questions and we're feeling this piece back to like the demons, like I'm really curious, and like the conversation I had with Morel is kind of sitting in my mind currently. That they're like I'm really curious about like what why the demons fled, right? Or the like what drove them out. My mind's sitting currently.
History tells us it's closing the gate.
Yeah. Like my brother is present, and I feel like we will get back. I want to get.
Are you trying to compel time?
Still,
yeah, a little bit.
Connor's trying to compel you.
Inspiration. I really want to do the demon thing. If you're trying to compel me, I'll just spend my inspiration. That's fine.
That works.
I mean, I agree. It is something that's interesting, but I don't feel like it's on a historical level that she's like in this mushroom connection, really looking for that. But yeah, so that's like where your head's at.
So pick a spot.
I know that Keth knows that the Mycelian wanted the orcs to help fight the humans. That was kind of like almost simultaneous with the demon. I just rolled double 20s, dropping my dice.
Damn you.
What the fuck? That was so stupid.
You
okay.
You wasted it.
I'm sorry. That was like, I had to stop to say something about that. Connor can attest. It happened.
No, I see it from here.
Yeah. Anyway.
What a waste.
I think Keth would want to know more like what the orcs had to play like in the demon war, because he knows that we fought the humans and we lost, and that it's like a story that gets repeated over and over again, and there's no like extra details. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like one of those things that you grow up reading the book and you're like, but what actually happened, kind of thing. So like Keth wants to know specifically about like that, like the fall of the Mycelian, I guess. Like how did the humans win, and why did they start to recede? That's what like Keth wants to know about that part of history. Like, why did the orcs fail? Because no one says why. That just we did, right? Because the humans were better. Like, but like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
What about okay? So
why did the Mycelian recede?
Let's start there.
Why are they leaving us? Why can't this ever happen when I'm roll? I just want to know what happens with that stupid weapon where you crit twice.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
Oh god.
We've gotten close.
Yeah.
Close.
For those of you, just kind of cluing you in, like our Saturday game, we play Tomb of Annihilation, and there's a character of a player of ours, Bonnie, and her character has this axe, and it has this special ability where if she crits, if she rolls another 20 after that, something special happens. And as you can only imagine, the odds are not in her favor of ever completing that. So, yeah, it's just kind of one of those things.
I'm totally awake. Totally 100%.
Sorry.
I'll just start throwing my D4s at you.
Yes.
Actually, I kind of need those. Maybe my D8s. Oh, I need those.
I can give you some
D12s. No,
things that you can throw at me that I can eat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Something that wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. Here's a pizza slice. Whap.
Just like.
You get it?
It was like when people were throwing cheese.
What?
Oh, I saw that thing. That was a while back. 6 months ago or something like that. Something stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. People decided to start
from America.
Oh, okay.
I've seen lots of like videos of people just like making it rain shredded cheese on their dog, and their dog is like, it's great. Look those up if you ever need something to make you smile.
That's pretty great.
That sounds pretty good.
It's rain cheese.
And the dog's just like not getting any of it, but trying so hard and super stoked. Like,
I know. I like the meme you sent earlier. should have mentioned your genetic weakness in your Tinder profile.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to read to you.
That was funny.
And you're getting the sense that you're actually for the first time sort of let in on a certain point of view that's only from the mycelium.
Okay.
They have broke our network. Inconceivable. Must repel. Cannot repel. Must destroy them. Destroy? It is already happening. The meld. We cannot help but feed on them as they feed on us. We crave things. We crave not things. Some of our clans crave not things more than others, and that is wrong. War. We understand war. We must war. We need war. And then it's sort of kind of fast forwards in a weird sort of time-lapsey sort of way. Inky cloud of chaos dissipates so that we can see together again. What groundsfolk would call breathing. We can breathe again. All clans are one. Orienting. We have the dwarves to thank for our oneness, as well as our weakness-based retraction. We are 98.4% free from the collective taint, leaving the collective at 14.9% effectiveness. Our influence wanes. We must rely on groundsfolk to purify Terra of chaos. And when the word chaos hits your brain, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You're fine.
19.
Okay. So.
Oh, actually, those.
Well, there you go.
And that's what you get.
Everything.
Will.
Yeah.
What at what point interests you?
The stuff I said earlier. Let me fire up. Connor's absolutely right in that like my mind was heading towards like my brother and what is known to my brother, but I'm sort of like shook that off with a sense of like this disembodied element and being like part of the force, and those thoughts that she just had like a conversation with Peril kind of like reasserts, and she's really interested about the like what
and I'm going to stop you mid-sentence, and I'm just going to say that time is having trouble like focusing on one particular area of the timeline.
Oh yeah,
your meter is going everywhere, even in the future.
This is my jam,
and it's really fucked up. It's actually hard to orient yourself. That being said, where are you at?
Wants to know more, like specifically, like in a piece of history about like the demon wars, right? So like the like what ultimately repelled the demons or why they fled.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to say went really well in objects where you're like, I'm going to pick this, no, I'm putting that one down.
I wanted to like honor him, like, yeah, you're right, she would be thinking, yeah, like spend administration to like focus down, to try and focus down on something, right?
Yeah.
Why they fled. So this is an interesting thing because you're delving through all of this very fourth dimensional sort of lore that's just pouring over you in waves, and you latch on to that one thing, and what you come up with is that so many of the humanoids hold to the belief that they repelled the demons, and they had a hand in it. But the demons actually left of their own will, of their own accord. And the reason that they left of their own accord is because something started to happen to them that they could not control. and it forced them to leave. Do you have any questions about that?
Yeah, like what was starting to happen?
Evolution.
Getting smarter, less bestial.
All of those things.
Were they bonding with a mycelium?
Well,
mycelium were also evolving.
They had consumed the mycelium to such a degree where they began to change.
Interesting. So they left to deal with that change and then come back.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to know more?
Yes.
I'm ready for any questions you have.
So
this is the 23 is why I keep coming back to this.
No, but love it. And so like I kind of want to link back to maybe like, you know, more of like a mycelium like current then in terms of how the mycelium views like the return of the demons, like what their intent is now that they've evolved.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Berg, you start to hear a louder voice coupled by the creaking of desiccated flesh.
Oh,
as you hear,
I need to go crush that.
Let them in, and then the elder just kind of breaks, like stands up and breaks out of the all of the sucker-like fungi that have stuck to their neck and their arms and everything like that, and they and it kind of rips some of their flesh off.
Sounds stringy. And
as it begins to stand, it's just saying that over and over again. In that sort of same way, it's more outward now. It's with one voice, where when you were hearing like "let them in," it was sort of like this kind of coming from everywhere and nowhere. But it's just saying that over and over again in its sort of dead orcish voice.
Yeah.
And we are rolling initiative.
You got this.
Just Ferg or all of us?
Just Elf. And
also thank you for channeling FedNet.
And Ferg, I'm actually going to hand you the stats to Ben.
Okay. Pen and paper capers also picked up on that.
On what?
You channeling FedNet with "Would you like to know more?"
Starship Troopers.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, are they watching?
Yeah. No, because you kept saying it and I giggled about it, and then they giggled about it in chat. Druid.
What'd you call me?
I asked if
Druid.
Druid. I'm using the Druid stats for Lennon.
You are.
Okay.
You are.
Ooh. Would you like me to write these on the board?
We can figure it out. It's just going to be three individuals, so it's fine.
Last words.
Lennon rolled a 19. I rolled a 16.
Lennon rolled. Sorry, let me get to my stats here. So Lennon rolled a
19.
19. You rolled a 16.
Yep.
And I rolled a 15. So it's Lennon, Ferg, the creature.
Sweet.
We're going to do one round. So the creature stands up and like all you can really see are briars and thorns just sort of like wrapped around their hands all the way up to the middle of their elbow, the middle of their arm, essentially where their elbow is.
Yeah.
And that is what you see this creature has. Ultimately, aside from that, they still have the sort of ritual garments that they wear, which are still remarkably clean. They just have like,
even though everything else is gross and rotten.
Right. it's a weird sort of juxtaposition. What does Lennon want to do? And Lennon has one first level spell slot taken off because he cast Detect Evil.
Okay. Berg's gonna yell at Lennon to just honestly, like, I know you don't want to do this, but we have to kill that thing.
And there's something internally happening with Lennon. He sees there's an incredible amount of fear in Lennon's eyes.
So Lennon wants this creature not coming towards us, so he is going to cast Entangle.
Nice.
Keep it away.
So that's a dexterity saving throw, if I recall correctly, yeah?
Let's find out.
Or is it just
Entangle?
It's going to make it difficult terrain regardless, I think, but it's whether he's wrapped up or not.
20-foot square, starting from a point in range. Strength saving throw.
Oh,
right off the bat, or when I try to leave?
Creature in the area when you cast a spell must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the tangling plants until the spell ends.
I rolled a 13.
And Lennon's spell save DC is... Damn it. You made it.
Okay. So it's definitely slowing the creature down, but you hear the ripping of vines and other things, sort of like it wraps around this creature, but then it just sort of rips out of them. You can see more of its flesh sort of peeling off in the process. What else does Lennon do? He's about 15 feet away from this creature, essentially. Both of you are, but in like different directions.
We're gonna have Lennon back off 10 feet.
Gonna have Lennon back off 10 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is Lennon saying anything or just like sort of gibbering in fear?
He's not saying anything right now. But when you said we have to kill this thing, he's nodding affirmative.
Like, yeah, we have to kill it, but I don't know if I can do it.
I loved how Connor said gibbering, and if it was anyone else, I'd be like, huh, gibbering. But I'm like, it's Connor, so I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
I assumed the exact same thing. That's so fucking funny. I was like, because I initially like kind of laughed to it, and I was like, oh, I've probably been saying it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's right. We're right?
I don't know.
We just have so much faith in your like.
I'm going with gibbering. I also have faith in Connor, but I'm going with gibbering.
I think it is gibbering, but
like gibberish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I would think.
Do you see the live stream happening still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Gibbering sounds more like
nice.
So, I don't know.
To gibble.
Yeah, that's how I've always read it.
Did Lennon move?
Lennon moved back 10 feet.
Okay. What is Ferg doing?
Ferg is like, fuck this noise and all of the shit. Bending our last rage.
Scary.
Oh, totally.
Do you
scary.
only get a certain amount forever?
No, per day.
No, they have to long rest to get them back, though.
You're no longer raging ever.
That's
You're
the
just
problem.
happy now.
I mean, Ferg is, I wouldn't say happy, but mostly content.
Fucking cute.
Is it lady?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
That's Lady Dog.
And you said this creature is 15 feet away?
What's that?
Lady.
15 feet away, yeah. Sorry, dog distracted
Sweet
me.
lady.
Yeah. We're going
There's a really cute dog on
to...
the table for us.
We're dog sitting.
Yeah.
And that's Maggie.
There's really,
I'm dog
really cute dog.
She's very soft.
For our viewers,
and
it's a
silky.
pit lab, black pit lab mix, and she's just so friendly, so adorable.
Yeah. I got a nose on the knee.
Yes.
Good girl.
Oh man, I set down my die and rolled a 20.
You what?
No.
It's your attack roll, right? No.
What happened?
I set down my die and rolled
Just
a
on
20.
20, but it
Wait,
was not
when
a roll.
when you
The side of
say
the table just keeps dropping our dice and rolling 20
when
for
you
no
say
reason.
set down, did you actually roll your die?
No, because I was gonna roll this one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Good luck.
Appreciate
I'm
your
not-
honesty.
I'm not gonna lie.
This tastes like it has sugar in it. It's very good.
Yeah, Ferg's running at this creature and bashing it in the head with the wooden pencil.
okay.
Oh, sorry, the stone pencil.
The stone pencil. That looks like a 17 to me.
That would be a 23 to hit.
Yes, you
at
absolutely
that.
crush
22
into
to
this
hit.
creature. Please roll damage.
36.
Good job, south side of the table.
I think it's my new favorite thing. Polar seltzer. Looking good.
Watermelon lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, seriously? That is some bullshit. 8 points of damage.
That's some roll shit.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm cursed. I cannot roll.
You said 8?
8.
Okay. This thing gets hit kind of square in the chest by the stone pencil, and it barely even budges. And then okay.
Take my sword off my belt. It's magical.
Wait. Take my sword out. That was magical.
Okay. We're gonna back off 15 feet.
Okay.
If you're making an AO, please
I'm just
do
worried
it
it's immune to
at
bludgeoning or
disadvantage.
Well, oh yeah, because you
'Cause
moved,
hungry like the
you
wolf,
moved, and then you're
Raven.
backing up 15 feet. Yes,
Yeah.
so I will take an AO.
I thought when you attack, they don't get AOs because of your eagle thing.
No, you're thinking the mobile
Or
feat.
that's when you dash that they can't attack you.
They can. It's just always at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. I understand.
So disadvantage, right?
Yep.
I rolled a 1, so I missed.
Yes.
Did we add the microphone?
But
Stereo.
let's not do it.
I didn't.
It's
I did it.
It's kind of adorable, but
It was cute. Sorry. I
so
didn't mean to put you on blast.
here's what I want to know,
I'm adorable.
Connor,
Yeah.
is you moved up to it,
Yep.
and then you tried to move away, but you're in the entanglement spell. And when you move 15 feet away from it, you're actually moving at difficult terrain.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to roll a strength save because I think it's right when the spell's cast. Is that
Yeah.
a strength save?
Did you? Yeah.
No, because
So what's your total movement? Is my
My
question.
total
Oh.
movement is 30, so I wouldn't have been able to.
Okay,
Um.
so I'm going to say that AO never happened.
Yep.
You're
Forgot
sort of
about that.
wading through the entangled
Yeah.
area, and then the creature essentially just as you swing and kind of hit it, it kind of like cocks its head like this, and then comes down on you with 2 attacks.
Fuck you, creature.
And let's see, not disadvantage, just regular, as we're
Just regular. It's
Yeah.
only AOs.
one is definitely a hit, and the other is a 15.
Both
Sorry,
hit.
14.
Both hit.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be painful and probably smell bad.
You're gonna get all goopy like me.
Yeah. That's okay. We've got things.
Okay. So, what I need from you, Connor, is 2 Constitution saving throws.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating it really slow.
Probably got inspiration.
Yeah. So one is an 18.
Mhm.
The other one we're inspiring because I am not going down with poison right now. They're both 18.
Well, it's a little bit of a difference, but ultimately you resist this. It's sort of like your body's immune system in the places that it hits it. It just sort of like begins to infect your body, and then your immune system starts to attack you instead of actually like attack what it's supposed to attack.
So it gave me eczema.
However, or a lot worse. However, you fight through that. You seem to be fine, other than taking 8 points of damage and then 6 points of damage.
I'm raging, so halving that.
Yes.
So 7 points of damage.
Mm-hmm. And
1 T.
And then that creature's done, and we're gonna go back to Time's little journey.
There's so many things.
So re-ask what you wanted to.
Sort of like from that perspective I had of like sort of the past and the demons and the evolution, like I was asking about the Mycelians' perspective on the demons' return and what is like the outcome of this evolution of theirs and what they're seeking now.
They seem to have found where the mycelium ultimately came from, which is not on this planet.
Is that the heart?
Oh, yeah. It's in the Kashar Forest.
Oh, so it may not have originated on this planet, but it's on this planet. Or something.
You're looking at a portal to another plane of existence.
Encraxed.
Or
below.
That's when you sort of snap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
However,
do I get back here?
You just did. Picture with his top.
Oh, good.
Congratulations,
That's what I was just doing.
Congrats, Fisher.
Congrats, Fisher. Fisher just graduated, everybody.
Fisher just graduated.
Are you streaming from the graduation?
It's a fish.
Fisher?
No, I don't want to make a pun.
Do it.
It's a fisheral.
Not bad.
Official.
I'll take it.
Talk about big fish in a small pond.
Oh.
This person's going places.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, they are.
So back to where we're here.
I wake up and roll into initiative.
So now I would like
Everybody gets a surprise round on us. What's happening?
I just like that, like, Berg is weekend at Burning for like 3 different people. We're all fine. We're all here. It's fine.
It's fine.
And I'm going to
Everything's
say that all 3 of you sort of get lost in that maze of chanting, and you don't know if you're in the past or the future or whatever the fuck. It just seems like you're drowning in history from a very alien perspective.
Shit.
And then you wake up. So now we are going to draw initiative. So Connor, if you could be so kind as to grab the initiative board.
We've got so many things and a dictionary open.
I know.
Also, I hate that online dictionaries, pronunciation guides are all audio files.
Yeah, it just seems kind of weird now. Like, why don't they have both? Really not that hard.
But it's looking like you can pronounce
14.
it gibbering or gibbering.
And I believe, do rangers... They
I
roll
love that
at
you checked
advantage
this.
because they're in their favorite terrain. Yeah.
I
No.
don't know.
That's. I mean, are you doing the augmented version of Ranger or the standard book Ranger? Like the Unearthed Arcana variant.
Probably the standard.
Then no.
Okay, cool.
Are we keeping our initiative?
Yes,
in
we
there?
are.
Okay. It was
So the creature was at a 15,
15.
and then Ferg higher than that, and then Lennon at, I think, a 19.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Shanna?
14.
14?
Creature.
19. Actually, sorry, 20.
20. Cool.
I'm Lennon, Berg. What was your Shanna?
14.
14.
And Keth?
Aaron.
I kept on 11. On disadvantage. I assume I do that. Skill check.
Definitely.
Cool.
Okay, so time.
My handwriting is
You
horrendous.
snap out of things, and your vision is basically like hella blurry, and you're just kind of. It feels like you're coming back to this planet. Like it feels like you left for a while. So this first round, all three of you are at a complete disadvantage on everything. That said,
Are you double disadvantaged?
That's not a thing.
No.
I roll 3 dice and take the worst of the 3.
that
That
said,
would be
what do you
fucked up and kind of
what do you
fun.
do?
I'm down. I'll roll 3 dice.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of a little blurry, and I'll say this is kind of like why she's also disadvantaged, because she's kind of like scrambling up and away from like this thing that is now like scrambling forward. Ferg is like toe to toe with, and like some brambles.
And I'm gonna say that you're out of the
Entanglement.
The entanglement.
It's a 20-foot.
Yeah, but
but I have a reason for saying that, because you specifically wanted your familiar to go up and actually do the kind of the dirty work.
Yeah.
So,
That was
but
like a ways
your
away.
familiar, however, has to make a strength check, or they're completely stuck in the entanglement.
I'm presuming it's a 0. We'll see what happens. It's stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
So you can hear June kind of struggling.
But it's a little ferret. Well, you should make it through some brambles. Yeah, it's fine.
I say the bear should get it.
You'll figure it out. That's fine. I'm not too worried about it. So time kind of like, as she's like on the ground, kind of like, sitting crisscross applesauce, and sees this thing, and like her initial reaction is just like fire off a firebolt at it, but like it's kind of like while she's scrambling up and coming to, so it's kind of at disadvantage, as she's just like, what's happening here. And hits it with, I'm presuming, a 19.
Yes, it does.
Awesome. 4 points of fire damage.
Sweet.
Does fire seem effective towards it?
Certainly does.
Cool. And then I back away. Like, I don't know. I'll say I was prone because I was sitting down, so like 15 feet further away from wherever I was.
Yep, cool. Lennon.
Lennon notices that everyone else is awake, right?
I would say yes.
Cool. So we're going to drop concentration on Entangle.
Okay. And suddenly, it all recedes. And the ferret's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
And by the way, you can always drop concentration outside of your turn. Well, you don't have to wait till your turn.
I feel like it would have taken a second for Lennon to be like, oh shit, maybe this isn't the best idea ever.
Yeah. So
Lennon's really afraid.
Yeah, and mentally I'll give you a little snapshot of what's going on with Lennon. This is his great aunt. And he was very close to her, and learned a lot of the druidic arts from her.
Yeah.
And so he is dealing with, doing something incredibly violent and awful to this visage that reminds him still of his beloved great aunt. So, what is he doing?
Sweet. So even though Lennon's really afraid, saw that the fire that I'm cast did some things and was like, oh yeah, like undead and planty things. So is going to. And I move back 10. Sweet, still in range. Lennon is going to just look at his aunt and be like, I am so sorry I'm about to do this. And a ball of fire appears in his hands, and he just chucks it right at his hand.
Produce flame?
Yep.
Okay.
What's your attack bonus? +4. Damn it. You hit with a 13.
I am not hit with a 13. The produce flame actually hits the creature sort of in its bottom sort of torso area, but that happens to be where a lot of its sort of like wet, like fungal growths kind of exist, and it just kind of is put out immediately.
And it's because Lennon is just like can't get over the fact that this is his aunt. She's like standing up, attacking people, and is like, I want to throw fire at you, but like having a hard time actually. Like,
does he back up further?
No, he's gonna just stand there and think, oh shit, thoughts.
Okay, it's Ferg's turn.
Ferg is wishing Ferg had fire. We're gonna slam down on this creature again with the stone pencil.
Okay. Ooh, nat 20.
Finally.
We got ourselves
Everyone drink for that.
a crit.
Critical.
All the crits, the misses, and the
Oh, that's
hits.
right. We haven't actually played with the crit table before.
No, we
Or
did.
what?
Okay.
We
did,
that's right.
When you guys did battle with the dragon. So go ahead and roll a d100, please.
That's 3 of these.
Just 2.
Just 2.
Yeah,
Choose
just
which one's a 10.
call which one is 1 and which one's 10.
Sometimes I have it on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
I was like, do these?
Most die do nowadays.
That would be a 30 or
Is it 0?
A
Is it
0?
20 flat?
20 flat.
20 flat.
In the other game that I'm playing with Ryan Mullen and people, we are also having a crit table. Kind of fun. And Damien actually has a D100.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So so first of all, roll damage, crit damage, and you bash it, and it just essentially gets pushed back 10 feet as it sort of stumbles past where the entanglement spell was, and kind of crunches against the standing stone and falls prone.
18 points of damage.
18 points.
Because you only had your bonus one.
Correct. Damage.
Look, I'm getting it.
Nice.
It's like that scene in Party Girl.
And you knocked it. And you knocked the table.
It's
yes, Mama. I
That
understand.
movie I still haven't seen.
Anything else, Ferg?
Are you moving?
Amazing.
We pushed
you knocked
it
it backwards 10 feet, and it's prone.
Yeah.
So if you move back a bit, it'll take a while to get up and get it to you.
I have bonus action. We're gonna stay right here.
Okay. After Ferg is the creature. Let them in. Let them. As it gets up and isn't even quite on its feet. Who is the closest to this creature right now?
Probably Ferg.
Ferg.
But I can soak damage.
You see something kind of emerging out of its palm, like it's a sharp thing that's like pushing through its palm.
Thorn whip.
And then it sort of emerges to the point where it's about like that long, and then it just hurls it at you, and then it hurls another one from its other hand as you realize that same thing was happening just a little bit behind the other. And they are both hurling at you.
It's still prone on the ground.
It is. Well, no, it's sort of like getting up. It was sort of like on one knee at that point. And then by the time it throws, it is on its feet. But I believe it missed. The best roll that it got was a 10.
You missed.
Yeah. So
Berg is like ready for this and just like, I got you, bitch.
Mm-hmm. How does it miss?
So yeah, Ferg's got the Raven Totem, so like super clear like vision, especially for fast moving objects. And like sees one coming at their head and just like takes a quick knee, and while the other one is following, I'm gonna say probably a belly level, which is now coming at Ferg's head, and just like gives a little like shove of the stone pencil to like knock it aside.
Right.
Like,
so
no.
yeah. And they are deflected completely. And it will then, let's see, it's up 15 feet. And then it's,
Come straight at me, I got you.
no, it's actually going to end its turn on top of you.
On top of me.
Yeah, because you were essentially like you had to get close to this thing in order to like use the listening on it. So it just basically moves over 5 feet and is I'll say we can it's just for descriptive purposes. You're not like grappled or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it kind of puts its foot on the back of your back and kind of pushes you down. And then that's the end of its turn.
Why am I on the ground?
Well, because you passed out when the listening spell.
Oh, I didn't know we like passed out. I thought we were like in a trance.
Well, you were in a trance and you
Okay.
fell over. Farron.
Field poppies. So I get up and smack it with my quarterstaff.
Okay. That's a nat 20.
I got you.
Yeah.
What?
Yay!
Roll a
crit.
D100.
100?
Two D10s.
35?
35. So
What does crit gaming table mean?
It's like there's a list of like potential outcomes when you crit.
So that's what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Yes!
There are some that are okay,
crit,
some that are bad.
Yeah, adding flavor. The crit ones are generally pretty good, I think.
So first of all, roll double damage. That's I believe. Are you wielding your staff?
It's 1d8,
two-handed?
so yeah.
Yep.
So do I do 2d8?
2d8. Yep. What is your normal bonus to hit or bonus to damage?
It's a negative. Wait, is that it?
Yeah, it's a negative.
Negative 1.
It's the next one.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 2d8 minus 2.
I thought you only added
You don't
once.
double your.
It's minus
Oh
1.
yeah, you're right. You're totally right. And I don't know what I was thinking. Past edition.
So I got a 5, so it's 4.
Yes. So
Right.
4 points of damage. So you crack it. And I'll be honest, it barely looks like it did anything to this thing. But when you hit it, you basically knock something off of its neck, some kind of a necklace.
Dibs.
And you kind of like smack it, and it sort of, you hear a sort of a crunch, maybe it's like clavicle sort of snapping, and this thing flies off and lands sort of at the foot of this creature, right in the viewpoint of Keth.
Okay.
And you see that it is a locket with a actual like one of those sort of like Harry Potter like lockets where like people are moving around and stuff like that.
It's
Like,
a picture of Lennon.
Yes, it is. It's a picture of Lennon, and that picture is sort of shattered in the middle, and it's sort of like blinking in and out of existence.
As fuck.
Wait, I have a bonus action.
I'm ready.
Ensnaring Strike.
With your staff.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Well, why are you rolling a d20?
I don't know. To see if I hit you.
You already hit with the staff.
Yes.
What do I do now?
So what does Ensnaring Strike say?
It says... Next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack before this spell ends, a writhing mass of... Oh, so you're already... You're writhed in thorny vines.
Okay. And what does that do? Does that do extra damage?
Target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the magical vines until the end of the spell ends. A large or larger creature has advantage. If it succeeds on a saving throw, the vines shrivel away. While restrained by the spell, the target takes 1d6 piercing damage at the start of each of its turns.
Okay, here's my strength saving throw. I only rolled a 4, so it is actually as if you sort of smacked it. It hit the stone again, and right when you right where you smacked it on the clavicle, you actually, like, all of the fungus that's already sort of pervading its body, you kind of make the fungus now work for you, and it sort of attaches it to one of the 3 standing stones.
Nice.
And it's just sort of stuck there, struggling. And even more so, I'll say that that locket that got hit to the ground has a little bit of Bayron's spell attached to it, and so you just see like the barest amount of like a couple of shards of grass go.
And like hold the locket down.
Just a little bit of the locket down. Just,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know where it's going to go. It's a problem.
Are you moving?
No, I think I'm just standing there, like watching it.
Got it. Kath?
So I'm on the ground and has a foot on me?
Well, not anymore.
Okay.
It was sort of bludgeoned up against the rock, and suddenly, like, it's just covered in restraining sort of Barbie, nodules.
Okay. I am going to take my magic quarterstaff. It doesn't have a plus. It's just the immovable rod part of it.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. So it's just the regular.
Yep.
And I'm going to basically walk up, or get up.
Monk.
And as I come up, kind of just like upward, right at its face, like two-handed with my staff.
I love it.
And you're at an advantage because it's restrained.
I'm actually at a regular
so
because
you're at
I'm
a regular.
exhausted. I was about to roll a disadvantage when you said that.
Wait a minute. So let's back up real quick. So first level of exhaustion is just ability checks, not attack rolls.
I have 2 levels. I thought that.
So the second level affects your movement and your movement only. It's the third level of exhaustion that affects attacks and saving throws.
Oh, okay.
So you are not you in fact do have an advantage.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is caucus.
Yeah.
2 9s. That's weird. I'm gonna use my other inspiration for this. Because I know it's not hit with a 13. So are you hit with a 22?
Definitely.
Inspiration.
That's gonna. That is 7 points of damage from a magical weapon.
Yep.
Does it look like it was more effective?
You realize that the moment it hits its jaw, it just completely breaks its jaw. Absolutely. Like, the magical weapon is doing the trick. Everything else was just kind of just superficial shots, really not cutting through. This actually broke its jaw off to the point where you cannot hear it saying those words anymore.
Good.
Cock shit get hit.
Anything else, Kath? Would you like to punch it?
Is it goopy like the other stuff?
It's actually not.
It's not goopy?
Correct.
Just hit it with the other side of the staff.
Because I can only make an unarmed attack with a bonus action. It doesn't have to do with a monk weapon. I can just make my unarmed attacks use my monk weapon damage.
So I'd like to let's see. You can attack once and then attack again with a staff as long as the attack die that you're rolling is a d6.
Like my second isn't two-handed?
Your second attack would be your bonus action. That's like a normal character doing that.
Okay.
So did you rolled a d6 for damage before?
I rolled a d8 because I was two-handed.
So that's two-handed. So that way you can't do that.
Okay.
But in the future, if you take the staff and you can just go bop bop, it's D6 damage, D6 damage.
Okay.
But basically, the second attack is you're burning your bonus action. What you got?
I'm gonna punch it. Fuck it.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, I want to punch it.
I want to punch it.
Just once?
That's a 22. I'm gonna flurry of blows it.
Okay.
And that is a 20.
Both of which hit. Your blows are flurrying.
And that is 4 + 4, 8 damage.
Actually, split them. Do separately.
3 + 2, that's 5. 5 and 3 damage.
5 and 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm not going to make it be knocked prone or pushed away, but since I flurry of blows, it has no reactions until next turn.
Okay. Sounds good.
Stay there, move away.
I'm gonna stay there. I have enough health.
Okay. Time.
Well, this thing seems to be all manner of tied up, and so it looks just prime for me to hit it with some magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to pull out another firebolt at this thing. Seems to be like being chipped down.
One thing. Let's see. Who would you say is the farthest away from this creature? Right now?
Druid, probably.
Lennon?
Yeah,
And then who's
Lennon or myself, probably.
Okay.
Because they were all like toe-to-toe, and you're like 10 feet away, right?
So Lennon says, okay, we got company, and you look around, and there are...
Damn it.
Michelle.
There are 3 of those blob tars that are within 15 feet
Oh, God.
from Lennon.
Oh, okay.
So that means 20 feet from you time.
Or you wanna add
3
them on the
blob
thing?
tars.
It's fine.
Did you just pull sushi out of nowhere?
Out of a backpack.
Veggie sushi, so
Yeah.
not in danger.
Oh, yeah,
of-
no. It
No.
looks like it's avocado roll or something.
So
I time says to Lennon, like, well, group up, focus fire and group up. So she like goes back to what she's doing, and she actually like changes her mind. And is like, not big guns, and brings out a chromatic orb of fire to shoot off at the restrained one.
Yes, you
We're just
do.
like, we're taking this thing down.
Yep.
And a critty.
Nice.
3 crits. Man, if I crit, it would have
you
been 4
guys
in a row.
are
That would have been
going
dope.
crazy.
Feeling it.
Drink the
Hey,
crits.
Bill,
I'm ready.
do you want me to add the blob tars in here or just with the creature?
No, they're gonna go at the bottom of the round. Yeah, so add them in at the bottom of the round. Yeah, thank you.
It's impossible.
What's the
Nobody else drank the crit. I'm the only one not actually drinking alcohol, though,
Wait.
so I shouldn't be pressuring you.
what's
all.
your percentile roll?
Cheers to
We're
crit.
drinking alcohol. You could be critting right now.
That's true.
What's happening?
I was rolling my damage.
Oh, got it.
24.
1d4.
That's some fire.
So
That was the percentile dice, but that was also what damage is going to be.
the target is pushed 15 feet back and falls prone. So what I'm just gonna say is add an extra die of damage onto your crit.
Sounds good. Slamming it into the stone.
Exactly. It's not falling prone because it's restrained.
It's-
Just
yeah,
taking
totally makes
an
sense.
extra die of bludgeoning damage.
Well, whatever.
Magic fire
Damn,
damage.
I rolled well. 36 total.
36 damage.
I rolled because it's a 3d8.
Whoa.
I doubled that because of the crit, and then just rolled an extra die.
Yeah.
And rolled pretty well.
And Lennon just yells out "Ah!" as it just
Grandma!
literally just splatters against the rock. It is not even a person or even remotely a person anymore. It's
Did
gone.
its nice
it's like
robes
how squirrel-
survive?
What's that?
Did its nice clean robes survive?
Well, they're not nice and clean anymore, and there's like a huge hole blown in it. But otherwise, yes, they did survive.
That would have been your AC right there.
But all of the fleshy bits are just
Yeah, thank you.
I couldn't open the
Yeah.
soy sauce.
like a desiccated pancake.
Seen in Lost.
Good luck.
Got a little arst on your shoulder.
And who is next? Lennon.
What's the Terra here?
Lennon's in a little bit of shock. It's like, well,
Y'all are adorable.
but enough to know that
so
these
mad.
blob tires are really bad. So we are going to
You hate me.
No, you're right.
what's it called? Produce flame.
I will think of the right word.
Throw it at a blob tar. Is the blob tar hit with a 19? Right.
If you say no, I'm falling out of my chair.
Well, that's just too great to pass up. No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hit the concrete, and then I had a question.
Let the nerds hit the floor. Let the nerds hit the floor.
Crit. You can't crit with damage, but feel good.
6 points of damage on blob tar.
Okay.
You don't have a plus? Or does Produce Flame not have a plus?
It doesn't say that it has a plus.
No, it's a cantrip.
Yeah.
So yes, it hits it and kind of cooks the sort of fleshy Arby's-like meat that it is.
Oh.
I mean, it hits you like a sack of moldy oranges. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
that what it says in
brilliant,
the
by the way,
description?
last week. That was fucking great.
Oh.
No, that was me. I made it canon.
And and
Think of the
it's
sound.
still coming, but it's definitely there's like a kind of a divot, sort of like burned in its chest.
I'm just so stupid. I thought that's what the Produce
Ferg.
Flame spell said. And I was like, really?
Ferg.
How far away is the nearest blob tar?
From you, I would say you can get to it by moving your full movement.
Cool. We're going to run at blob tar.
Okay. The one that was just seared or another one?
Let's go to the one that was seared. Let's take them out in order.
Okay.
And go smashy, smashy.
Dispatch efficiently.
Yeah. Never mind.
Well, what's the total?
Seriously?
Just in case.
8.
You hit it.
They're melty blobs. Like, what do you think their AC is?
I know they're slow, but I didn't think it would be an 8.
They're like peeps in July.
I knew they were.
I thought they would be like a 10
Well
at
done.
least.
All right.
Well, I
this
know we were
Easter
hitting them with
candy.
9s when we were on doing the whole tree thing.
Oh,
So I
that's
thought
true.
they were at least a 9.
Peeps have no place in this world.
They're
And
marshmallows.
And
they're
anyone who
tasty.
disputes that, I will fight you. Like for real.
I have never roasted a peep over an open fire, and that would be kind of an interesting experience.
I
It'll
feel like the
caramelize
sugar
on
would
the
just
outside.
burn. Yeah, or
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah, you
delicious.
said you got an 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely hit it. How do you kill it?
So weird. We turn it into a loogie on the floor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
you hawk that shit.
Bonus action. What's their movement?
15.
Low.
But they are the other two are in range to get to you. This next coming up.
Yeah. Bonus action 30 feet away from them. Back to the group.
Okay, got it. Keeping your distance. Perfect.
Yeah.
Farron.
What am I working with?
Well, you're working
Who do I
with
need
the
to
fact that these creatures are about 30 feet away from you, which you can close in melee distance and get to them. But I mean, like either one of them are in range of your bow if you wanted to switch weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna like take a shot.
Cool.
At
So
the one.
drop your staff, pull out your bow.
Best in range.
Yep.
Fire away.
Oh,
Are
poison
you
arrow,
good with
don't
that?
forget.
I don't think
7?
Quizzle's
Yes, I
gonna
am.
work
Oh,
against
good.
blob
Yeah.
tires.
7? Actually, yeah, that's an 11.
Yeah,
That's an
oh, is
11
it?
You got
total, by the
I
way.
guess it must be
Oh, right.
completely immune to poison.
I'll get it one of these days. All right. 1d8 plus 3. 5.
5 points.
Hell yeah.
Desiccation.
Yeah, an arrow just kind of thuds into its head, but it still keeps coming. After Farron is Keth.
How far away am I from it?
You're within range.
Like,
You can run up 30 feet and strike
well,
one.
my movement is half, so my movement's 20 feet right now.
Ooh,
But
you're not within range. Yeah.
But I'm within 30 feet of it, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to go up 10 feet and I'm going to pull out one of my poison daggers. I am not daggers, darts that I have prepared.
Yep.
One of the 3, and I'm going to throw it at the Blobtar, the one that whoever's closest to a person. Well, the one that,
Me?
The one you damaged. Why are you rolling?
I don't know.
So you roll.
That is a 16.
16 definitely hits. Roll damage, but do not do anything with poison.
So don't roll the 3d6 poison.
Correct.
Damage. That's kind of what I was curious about. But I was like, they're just going to be wasted if we don't use them. So
good point.
So it's a d4, right? Yes. 5.
5 points. Same one that you hit with your arrow, and it just kind of hits this perfect point on its body in which it just sort of falls apart.
Pops.
Yeah.
Why are they wasted if we don't use them?
They only they're only good for a day.
Oh,
we each prepared 3 before we came in, so they're only good for this day. That's why I was like, I'm just going to see if it works, because that's more damage, but it didn't work.
And then the last Blobtar comes up to you, Ferg, and attacks you with its drippy, meaty fist.
Even though I was 30 feet away and you said their movement was 15?
That's true. So it's Lennon that it's coming after.
That's why I only moved 10 feet closer.
And is Lennon hit with a 10?
Lennon is not hit with a 10.
Okay.
Nice.
Ooh,
So
go Lennon.
it sort of clumsily sort of slurps in his direction and just throws like a clumsy haymaker in which it does nothing. And so there are a few of these creatures in the distance, but I'm going to say this last initiative, you guys are going to take this last one out. It's inevitable. So what I'm going to say is that you dispatch this creature, take a couple deep breaths. Lennon goes and retrieves that shattered pendant and sheds some tears over his fallen.
Weepy weep.
Yeah.
Does anyone have mend? Come on, guys. Someone's got to have mend.
Nope.
And is there anything that you'd like to do before we go on break?
Do we see anything in this pile of rotty detritus that we think we're going to need fire before we run the fuck away? So investigate.
Please do.
I'll help. So if you advantage, actually, I don't know if I'm actually giving anybody advantage.
I mean, if you want to help, actually, do you want to help me?
Yeah, I want to help you because yours is probably way better than mine.
Yeah.
So you kind of call time over as she's sort of spacing out. And
time, what do you see? Where is it? Where are the goods?
Actually, on that note, I mean, time is just going to cast Detect Magic on top of this as well. Actually, I'll do that to kind of like help focus and look to make sure we're not missing anything, because I know time is of the essence, right?
Okay.
Ooh, that is going to be 21.
And I will reveal what you find when we get back from the break.
God damn it.
But you do, in fact, find something. And as per your Detect Magic, it is magical.